going to go back to technical stuff. We're going to bring the people from PitLogic, Judy, right?
Yes, Garrett Andrews, good friend. This guy knows how to make things happen. So he's introduced PitLogic. It's an app for racers, but he's also competition suspension. He's also Pit Boss Jacks, but today our focus is PitLogic. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Good morning.
Good to have you on.
Good afternoon to you. And we're going to bring Jeff Hammond back with us, who is going to be hosting the webinar. And here is Jeff coming up. And so thank you very much for being with us. Garrett, I think it's your second webinar with us. And we talk suspension. Mr. Hammond, welcome back. So
good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's having a great day. And man, we got off to a bang this morning, and I just finished listening to Joe talking to Ron Capps. Very, very informative and entertaining. I love Ron Capps. He is one of the elite when it comes to NHRA and drag racing or anything else in the world. I mean, this guy's a super cool dude. He really is.
Yeah, great.
So Jeff, we'll let you take over.
Have fun.
We're going to try. We're going to try. What's going on, guys?
Not a whole lot. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, Garrett, are you on the left? Am I looking at you on the right? Which one's Garrett? Hey, Garrett.
How's it going?
Good, good. Pleasure to meet you. So tell me some more about PitLogic. I mean, I heard Judy talking about, you know, you've got a multitude of things going on over at PitLogic. So let's just start a quick overview of what's going on in your world.
Yeah, so Kevin to my right, he's actually the creator and app developer for PitLogic. And I'll let him talk a little bit about how it started and what it is and what our vision for it is. And then I can answer any questions as well.
Okay.
Hi there, thank you. Just like Garrett, I've been racing my whole life as kind of a family background, helping my dad when he raced when I was a little kid. I've also been interested in computers forever, and have always tried to merge the two to help what we do, stay organized, keep track of our setups and everything like that. Our latest iteration of PitLogic really began in 2017, 2018, started developing a Android and then later iPhone app. And at the end of that 2018, I showed it to Garrett and asked him if he thought this was something that could be valuable to racers in the industry he knows, and he immediately thought it was. And we went to work and kind of created a list of features we thought would be most important to the racers to be able to keep track of all of their setups, keep track of their tires, have a really handy place to look at all their shock data and all that stuff on one nice local location and put it into an app. And we went to work and we put it on the market in 2020 or the end of 2019. And we've been evolving it ever since.
Okay, I got one comment to say right there. Where were you back in my younger days?
Well, you know, you say that in like the late 80s, early 1990s, not to date myself, when I was working on some asphalt late model teams, just as a crew member, I tried to get something like this going. Of course, not with the phone app, but with a laptop system, and, you know, took it to a bunch of teams and showed it to them and kind of got laughed out of all the meeting rooms telling me that there would never be computers in racing. But a couple decades later, that's definitely changed.
No, when I listen to you talk about that and I look at what's available and throughout my career, when you think about it, I still have spiral notebooks from the early 80s, where that's what we wrote down, what we put in the car. You know, we write it down and that was pretty much it. And we didn't know then how important the little details were. Being able to know, okay, you put the paint on the spring, and okay, we got a 700 over here, we got a 550 and this spring here and this kind of bar, but we never realized that, oh, you beat the end of the sway bar up and you get another sway bar. Well, what was really the torsion load on it? You get a spring and all of a sudden, you need an extra one when you run to the parts store or the junkyard or whatever, and you get another one, and you really don't have any way except by using old code numbers that were, used by the manufacturer that told you that this was roughly a 700-pound spring. We
Right.
never had a way to rate them. So, I mean, the details are so important, and a lot of the technology, and I'm assuming that you're in that boat because I have not seen your app completely. How much better it makes it on everybody. I mean, there's no doubt. You remove doubt. I think that's the best way to put it. Having something written down or documented is a plus, but when you have it detailed out to the point that everything as close as we're trying to get by today's standards, I mean, it's phenomenal. It really is. And when you can put it in a cell phone application, I mean, how much easier can it be to be carrying it around in your back pocket to a certain degree?
Yep.
Yeah, I came from the IndyCar racing side, and so computers were big, but it was all custom programs that the teams wrote or fancy Excel spreadsheets. And if you didn't have your laptop with you, you couldn't work. And with PitLogic, it's so nice. I can have a customer call or text me and ask a question. I can just pull it up right on my phone and get them a direct answer. The availability of having it at your fingertips at all times is so convenient.
Well, we're talking about that. You know, you mentioned IndyCar, and you talk about, you know, the late model side of it, you know, being far as, but who is your market? What's your core market right now? Who is really taking advantage of this, you know, great technology that you're putting out there?
Yeah, so really our core market is short track racing. So everything from quarter midgets, micro sprints, midgets, sprint cars. But the app is very adaptable. So we've created these setup templates that you can download, only the ones you want to use. And we've also created some custom templates for folks along the way for drag race, sports car, and different things. So really it can be used anywhere, but the bulk majority of our users are short track racers. And that's where we have the most data available for them within the app.
So what, you know, when you're looking, and I wish to a certain degree we had one in front here to look at, what is your favorite part of it? I mean, what's the sweet spot on your app right now? I mean, when you look at something, this is what makes and separates us from anybody else.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, Kevin can actually show you. We'll share our screen here, and he can kind of walk through his phone and show you what some of the cool features are within the app and what we like to use the most.
Right.
He'll switch the screen over. While you talk about that, you talk about having the phone in your pocket. When we first developed the app, we kind of made it tablet based to fit on an iPad or an Android tablet, but more and more users are using it on the phone because, like you said, it can be in your pocket. Up on the screen right now, you see the main menu. We kind of have the program divided into 6 main sections. In the upper left, if I press the setup button, this will take me to a menu of all the setups I have stored in the system. And this is my development device, so there's only a couple here, but I'll click on like one particular setup, and then it'll take me to that setup. And you can see across the top, it'll show you the date and what event it was. And then down below, each time we go on the track, we can create a session, whether it be our initial setup or a heat race, qualifying, main event, and so on. And then down below, we have all the setup variables that we store in the system. And the system will know what type of data is in each place. So for example, if I click spring or bar, it'll have a place for me to enter that type of amount. But if I put in the blocks, it'll know that that's going to have a fractions measurement, and I can put that in. We store all of our shock data being tied together in the beginning and having CSI as a backer for this product. We made sure that all the really important shock detailed information ends up in this program. So we're able to store our compression and rebound numbers. We can look at a shock sheet directly from when it's set up and look at the detailed like rebound numbers for 0, 1, 3, 6 inch numbers and so on. So that's the setup information. From the main menu, we can also go into shocks and look at our shocks and inventory, click on one and look at a detailed shock sheet. We have gear charts inside of PitLogic. So depending on what type of racing you're doing, if you're using a quick change type gear setup, or if you're using a chain base like a quarter midget or micro, they both work in here. I can choose different gear charts right from the top. There's a quarter midget one. There's a USAC midget one. We can look at all the gear set opportunities that are there. I can click on RPM calculator, put in old and new RPMs and what we want. It'll help me find the right gears. Inside PitLogic, we also keep track of all of our checklists, and we can share our checklists with our other team members. So I can hold down an item and start marking off what's getting done for the preparation for the week. We keep track of all of our tires inside of PitLogic. Here's my individual tires for an event where I had, in this case, 4 left rears and 4 right rears, and I put in the information, put in the size, but then I click pairs. I know this is one of Garrett's favorite features. It'll show me all the different stagger combinations based on those tire pairs. And then in addition to that, we have a parts inventory inside of PitLogic, so you can keep track of steering gears, rear ends, or anything where you want to keep track of how many laps or how many events you have on something. You put those into the system, you assign them to a setup, and they'll start tabulating all their laps and events so that you can easily manage when it's time to service your different components. So that was a
And
really
you might-
key.
Go back to your checklist icon.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this one, we
okay,
broke it
cool.
into sections for cleaning, maintenance, the fuel system, reassembly, setup, getting ready for the track, so on.
Yeah, and it's very easy to create your own checklists within there, whether it's what you need to load the trailer, what you need to do to prep the car to scale it. We have some predefined checklists and setup templates that us as a company and a lot of our employees or racers have decided, hey, this is important for us. So we have some predefined ones you can download, but it's really easy to create your own checklists in here as well.
So you can add and subtract to this accordingly.
Yep. Yep, you can add as whatever items you want or remove which ones don't apply to you. You can
Right.
create your own checklist from scratch. You can share checklists with other PitLogic users and actually sync them so that when I check something off, if I'm sharing it with Garrett, he'll see in his version of it that it's been checked off. So it makes it easy for teams to work together.
Well, see, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm sitting there thinking that when I look at this app and the way you've got it set up, you know, I don't want to mess with tires, but I got a tire guy. I
Yep.
want to know what's going on with tires, but if I can't find him, because he's down at, you know, Hoosier or whoever and getting
Yep.
tires and everything, I can look on mine and be able to see, okay, he's got these already took care of. And at the same time, he's not waiting for me to get off the app to get on the app. You know, so we can, how many people hypothetically could we have 4 people on, you know, on the app at one time?
Yeah, there isn't a limit to how many people can share information. It's
Right.
just a matter of who you establish ahead of time as part of your group.
Yeah, so same thing. You wouldn't want your tire guy to go in and mess up your setup information. So you can
No.
restrict it to where he can just edit tire information.
No, that's what I say. I mean, those kind of flexibility in within the app, you know, it gives everybody about their own, you know, heck fire nowadays, you don't find anybody in the garage area that's not got a cell phone and doesn't have usually, you know, modern technology at a fingertip. So the idea of being able to do that and share it all collectively with amongst, you know, 3 or 4 crew members, especially on a short track type of a situation, it's really got to be fantastic. I mean, that's to me, that's music to my ears as far as the crew chief's concerned. And the other thing, I was looking at you know, your check sheet, same type of deal. You know, if I wanted to create an inside cockpit area for a guy, when he goes inside there, he's doing everything inside the driver's cockpit, you know, fire extinguisher, seat belts, gauges, all this stuff right here. I got another guy that won't doing the trunk area, whatever's going on in the fuel cell area. Then I got somebody underneath, and then I got guys that are doing suspension and engine stuff. So all of these checklist stuff, you know, knowing that it's being completed. And the other thing is to have the ability to, like, if you wanted to do that sheet, could the guy put his initial or something like that beside it to make sure that he checks it off? You know what I'm saying? I like accountability that, you know, in my case right there.
The system will know who checked it. And in addition
Right.
to that, with the tire lists and the checklists and the setup sheets, all of those can actually be turned into a PDF and sent to a printer or to email. So if you need a physical copy of a checklist or a tire sheet, once you've added all your tires, or you want that spiral notebook to keep growing at the same time, just because it makes you feel more comfortable, all this stuff can be sent to a printer as well.
You know, you can never trust a computer or anything like that, even an iCloud completely. So, I'm old school. I want to see that printed file.
Yep.
I'm able to go ahead and get it and look at it and not have to worry about, I don't know, I guess you might say I go to bed at night and I'm sitting there reading the sheet. It kind of helps make me relax and go to sleep. Where and on top of that, you got to have glasses on anyway. So I want something bigger and bolder. But no, I love what you're creating here, because yourself, documentation is going to be the lifeblood of any organization. I don't care who it is, because you never know when somebody's going to leave you, and you don't want somebody to take something away from you that, that could be, invaluable. Because at one time I had a guy that kind of followed me around and was, was like a car chief, and, we worked on the thing, and I expected him to keep up with all the paperwork while I was dealing with the driver or dealing with, whoever. So, you got to have an element of trust there, but at the same time, you need to know that when it's all said and done, you've got a copy, even nobody else has got, the company needs to retain that.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's so many great, call them hidden features within the app that just add a bunch of detail. Like when you're in a setup, if you long hold weather, it automatically pulls the weather for your location, barometric pressure, all the stuff you would need for fueling your engine, as well as just general weather. Same thing, long hold time of day for that session. It automatically brings in time of day where you're at. One of my favorite features is photos. So for like dirt track racers, you can get a quick picture of the track.
Mhm.
So in addition to your description of the track conditions, you got a good visual. I also like to use the photos. If you're taking apart a rear end assembly, right, you can get a photo of it where all your spacers were and everything, and all those are stored within the app.
Once it goes in there, I'm assuming then it's all iCloud friendly and everything like that, that you can, you can put it up there and have a copy of it if you need to have that also. Does it?
That's correct. We have a system where a lot of racetracks don't have the best internet connections. So the primary source for the app is on the device itself. But when the internet connection is available, it'll securely back it up with a key that comes from just your account, back it up to the cloud, so that if you lose a device or you want to have multiple devices, maybe you have some on a tablet, some on a phone, you can move that information around within your own account as well.
Now, that being said, do y'all have a independent PitLogic device that you could buy to store everything in besides just using your phone?
We don't. That's something we've thought about, and when in the early days when we were really getting it going a few years ago, we donated some devices as prizes at year-end banquets and things. And so we just bought a, $100 Google Android tablet, loaded the app on there, and then gifted it to somebody. So really, it'll work on almost any device, but we don't have a specific PitLogic device. We found most people just like using it on their phone because it's with them all the time.
Well, again, that's usually, it's kind of like putting on your pants. When you get up in the morning, you put your pants on, you're going to grab your cell phone, and it's going to be the next thing goes in your pocket. Well, Tim McCutcheon was asking, can the data be exported to CSV?
To a comma separated value file. Right now, you could do that through the same method that we send stuff to PDF. So if we have an existing user who wants to see how to do that, I could show them. In our future versions, that's actually going to be part of how it gets stored on the cloud. And so basically the short answer is yes, but there's some more details to make that happen.
So today, if we're going in, and I think I asked the question earlier, but I'm going to ask it again. If you were taking a look across the board, who all is using and going after your app right now? Is it predominantly all short track stuff, or do you have, IndyCar guys? And since you mentioned Indy, do you have people right now that are using your app as we speak? And I guess you might say in some of the bigger series.
Yeah, it's mainly short track racing. So like I say, everything from the quarter midget kids up to USAC, World of Outlaws. Those are our core customers, but we have created special templates for pavement late model guys, some drag race guys. We've done some stuff for lower level formula teams, kind of on the Road to Indy program. The IndyCar guys, a lot of those engineers have spent decades developing a Excel file that they've customized, and they like to use that. Security has been an issue with some of those big IndyCar teams, and Kevin can touch on this more. The app is extremely secure, but some of the IndyCar teams are nervous to put their data on a cloud. But Kevin, you can touch on the security of PitLogic.
Sure. Once we started realizing that we needed to make the data available over the cloud, one of the first things we did was try to find the most secure way to do that. Because if I have my set of data and I want it to be just mine, then I want it to be just mine. So what we've done is inside PitLogic, you create an account. And with that account, your device gets a key, which is unique to just you, the user. And any of the information that moves up to the cloud is encrypted. And then it's stored with that key. So the only way that that information comes back down to a device and then expanded into something readable is if it's from the original user. So that's kind of how we handle making sure that you only see what you're supposed to see and nobody else can see. And whether you have it on your device or it's stored on the cloud, it is uniquely your information.
Guys, like I say, that sounds like you've got all the bases covered. And I know for a fact that, with some of the manufacturers I've dealt with, if you got an encryption key, that's about as good as you can get. I'm not saying there's not some hackers out there that can figure certain things out, but I can attest that there's a lot of people right now that deal with encrypted stuff, and they'll tell you right quick, you can't get much more protected than that. If you got, the only key, well, you're pretty safe. Well, the other thing is too, I was just sitting there pondering about the fact that, we're racing down in the Snowball Derby this weekend. I bet you there's a lot of folks down there that are probably taking advantage of your app.
I know that we have some asphalt late model teams that use it. We've developed some custom templates to match the information that they needed. I'm not aware of which specific teams are racing this weekend that are there or not. We just got back from our own racing trip, so I haven't kept on that. But I know there are asphalt late model teams that definitely use it.
Yeah, and it's super easy. If you were an asphalt late model team and you downloaded the app, and which you can download it completely free, 2-week trial. After that, if you want to subscribe, then you would enter your information within the Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's either $9.99 a month or $99 for a year. But you can download it for free and use all the features for 2 weeks. If you did that and you downloaded the pavement late model template, and it wasn't, maybe you wanted to keep track of a certain item on your race car that isn't on that template, it's really easy to customize the template to take the notes that you would like. So that template can match exactly what you would write in your notebook. You can either remove some of the stuff that we have on that template or add your own. It's really seamless.
You make me think about this hypothetically. Okay, I'm at the racetrack. I've gone through all this stuff, and I know you guys have seen the app that a lot of race series use to keep up with timing and scoring. Can that be downloaded and put back on that app for that particular racetrack, after the fact?
Short answer right now, no, but that's definitely on our near-term future features list, where we want to integrate with the different timing and scoring systems and be able to link that directly to your setups. But we have some more details to work through to make that happen. But that would be a great feature, something I know I would use. And so we're working towards getting that into the app.
Yeah, so one of the things I've done is kind of a workaround is, a lot of folks use the Race Monitor app or something like that. Is I've just taken a screenshot of it on my phone and then saved that photo to my setup. So that's a workaround right now, but we are working for a way to just quickly integrate all of that data right into the app.
With that being said, are there any other kind of apps that you guys are working on that folks might want to hear about, that it's in the future? I mean, it's like, you got your basic deal. You've shown that to us today, very solid, but at the same time, you've already touched on the idea of trying to get timing and scoring integrated. But what else is out there for you guys?
A couple of others, just like integrating with timing and scoring, more and more people are using computers to capture data as part of their racing program, whether it be through their ignition system or a third-party device that they've added to their race car. We would like to integrate with those as well, for storing whatever types of telemetry you're recording or engine data, fueling system information, that type of stuff. We'd like to be able to link to those records just like we do the timing and scoring. In addition to that, our next biggest new feature, we actually have a new update that's coming out, should be later today. We would call PitLogic version 4, and that's the version I was showing you right now. But then our next version, we're going to be adding even more team features so that you can manage a team from inside PitLogic and message different team members, but at the same time, kind of coordinate your setups, your checklists, and shocks even to a higher level than you can now.
Yeah, so it's ever evolving. Kevin could probably touch on how many updates from the first feature. I feel like we have a new update almost monthly with, as devices change, you might get a bug here or there. So we're always trying to fix those little things, but then adding little features. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of features we've added. And a lot of those have came from the users like, hey, I'd really like to be able to do this. Hey, well, that's a great idea. We can add that. Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting a comment here just right here as we were getting ready to run out of time from Randy Lane. And he was asking road racing, rally. And it seems to me like your app will work for any of those. I mean, it's just a matter of filling the gaps and adjust the programming to really what you want.
Yeah, so I'd say any of those folks who are interested in a customized template or something different, just reach out to us through the website, call us, email us, and we can work with you to help adapt the app to best suit your needs, because it's fairly easy to do at this point.
For rally racing, we actually added the nearest hospital feature too.
Yeah, well, that was a request we got from some desert racers. Right? They wanted their parts on different trucks, like for a Baja 1000 type thing, and they said, hey, if all of our guys have the app on their phone, it'd be nice to have a one touch to the nearest hospital if somebody got injured pitting a car or a race incident. So that's a feature that is on the app. Yeah.
Well, you got a heck of a project right there going on, and it's really looked like you've got it. You got it figured out, guys. I mean, congratulations. I like what I see. I just wish I was still crew chiefing because I'd be using the darn thing.
Good to hear.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you very
Francis,
much.
there you guys are again. Y'all got that Grim Reaper look on your face, like I got to cut you off. Got to cut you off.
Well, we pushed PitLogic's product back on the homepage of EPARTRADE as well. So we built this platform for you, for the industry. So if you want to connect with Garrett and Kevin, just go on EPARTRADE.com, and PitLogic's products are right there at the top. And so thank you very much, Kevin. Thank you very much, Garrett.
The concept for EPARTRADE is basically, in my opinion, there's a big hole in the internet. So the internet started many years ago, but there's never been an online business community for racers on the World Wide Web. The need for EPARTRADE is actually quite obvious. Basically, people in the business of auto racing need a place online to hang out and to get their problems solved.
It's extremely simple for a buyer or for a supplier to interact on the platform. The first thing you need to do is sign in, which is free. And the second thing is, when you see a product that you're interested in, all you need to do is click on request more information. If it's a company, you click on request more information, and then from there, it is forwarded directly to the buyer or to the supplier.
You can go to epartrade.com, you become part of a community of businesses in racing, and it makes sourcing products much easier than just on the internet or using Google.
At EPARTRADE, there is no e-commerce. It's literally a connection just like at a trade show. So now, any time of the year, a buyer could reach out to a supplier through an email.
More than that, it's a place to go just to keep current every day. So it's a good place to start your workday in your racing business or in your offices of your professional race team. And you know you're current when it comes to new technology, industry news, technical papers, technical videos, all of that and more. We're not looking for a million hits per day. All we want is people who are really the volume buyers of racing products in the racing industry to be part of the little world of EPARTRADE. We have racing businesses participating from around the world. So you get suppliers from around the world, you get buyers from around the world.
EPARTRADE really eliminates having to travel, closing down your shop. Now you have a place to showcase globally your racing product and technology.
There are two types of people, racers and everyone else. Racer Magazine is for those who believe that racing is a way of life. Racer embodies the excellence that defines a sport driven by passion, courage, and ingenuity. Get 1 year of both Racer's print and digital edition for only $39 with instant access to our entire digital issue archive. Subscribe now at info.racer.com.